Today's mindset shift is absolutely foundational. When I say that this mindset shift is foundational, what I mean is that if you decide to take this mindset shift, this understanding, if you take this principle and use it as a part of the foundation that your entire mindset practice is built upon, it will tremendously increase your quality of life, increase your manifesting speed, and it will make your manifestation process that much easier. What does that mean? It means you will reach your goals that much easier, that much quicker, and you will have that much better of a time as you move towards said goals. For those of you that do not know, my name is Natalie Hughes. I'm a life mindset and manifestation coach in my business, and on my platform, my purpose, my mission is to help professional women, trailblazers in their industry, in their family lines. I know so many women in our community are going to be the first women homeowners in their family lines. I know there are women coming from families where it's always been men owning homes, or it's always been an experience where women weren't homeowners until they got married. So there are women breaking those generational patterns of always relying on a man, needing a man in order to create that financial stability, in order to begin building generational wealth. There are women in our community, women in this community that are doing such amazing work like that. There are women in this community who are business owners, who are taking thought where it has never gone before, and they are utilizing the power of their minds, the power of their creativity to free other people, to heal, to uplift, to help people transform out of their current circumstances, right? There are so many amazing women inside of this community and in my business, on my platform. My job is to help you do the work that you have been called to do with so much more ease. My job is to make your journey easier, more enjoyable, and quicker as much as I possibly can. And I dedicate myself to that. So in today's episode, we're talking about reaching your goals, because now we are shifting into me launching the I Can and I Should course. It's a self-esteem building course. It is all about building the self-esteem that you need in order to reach your goals, in order to achieve new heights, and in order to manifest. Your self-esteem is defined by what you believe that you can do. It's your belief in yourself. So what we want to talk about in today's episode, as we transition into talking about the I Can and I Should course, what we want to talk about is this foundational belief, this foundational understanding, this foundational principle that I believe is going to really serve you. Your identity is your self-perception. And if you haven't listened to those podcast episodes about identity from earlier on in this year, like January, or I think February or March, you might want to scroll back and listen to those. If you're on YouTube, you'll probably have to go to my website or whatever. You can find it. So your identity is your self-perception, how you see yourself, how you see the world, how you expect to be treated in the world. This is all your identity. This is all your self-concept. So in manifestation, you're often taught to switch and change and shift your identity. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're working at that company and you want to be the CEO of that company. You are eyeing that CEO spot. You know what it's like to be a woman in your industry. You know what it's like to be a woman of color in corporate America, and you know that when you get appointed as the CEO, the COO, the CFO, you know that when you get appointed into that C-suite, it's going to mean so much for you, the impact you're making, the example you're setting, the amount of money that's in your pocket, so on and so forth, right? So you have this goal. You know that you want to be the CEO of this company. You know that you want to be in the C-suite, whatever that looks like for you. But while you're in a lower position in the company, are you perceiving yourself? Are you claiming that you're the CEO or the CFO? Are you claiming? Hold on, give me 1 second. Are you claiming that you are who you are choosing to become? Or are you afraid? And there's a lot of people who, as a consequence of living in a hyper-masculine society, don't feel comfortable, don't feel safe identifying with the person they are choosing to become before it has manifested in the physical reality. Oh, Natalie, I can't identify as the CFO. I can't do that. I'm not that. I'm so far away from that. There are so many positions in between me and that. I can't identify as that right now. I can't identify as a successful business owner. I can't identify as somebody who is getting dozens and, hundreds and thousands of sales every single month in her business. I can't identify as that. I'm not getting enough yet. I am so far away from that. I can't identify as that. Oh, Natalie, I can't identify as a married woman. I don't even have any romantic prospects. I can't identify as a married woman. So many women struggle. So many of my clients and my mentees struggle with the idea and concept of claiming that identity before your physical reality has changed. And this is the example I'm going to use to help you shift this. And then we're going to go even further. When you're in middle school, what are you, 12, 13 years old? And I'm going based off of the United States schooling system. I know it's different in different countries, but you're going to be able to follow along just the same. So in the United States, when you're 12, 13 years old, you graduate from the 8th grade. And once you graduate from the 8th grade, you have graduated from middle school. And once you have graduated from middle school, your next step is high school. And when you are in those few months, what is that, like 3 months? June, July, and August. When you're in those 3 months between 8th grade and the 9th grade, and somebody asks you, oh, what grade are you in? What do you tell them? You tell them that you're in the 9th grade. You tell them that you're in high school. You consider yourself to be in high school before you have even started taking classes in high school. Similar experience when you graduate high school and you go off to college. In that summer between you graduating high school and going off to college, somebody asks you who you are. You do not tell them, I'm in the 12th grade, because you already graduated. You tell them the college that you go to. I go here, here, and here. I'm studying this, this, and this. There are moments where it is very, very normal and natural to claim an identity that has not yet completely manifested in this physical reality. And what happens when you claim that identity of being a middle schooler, of being a middle schooler, yeah, of being a high schooler, of being a college student? You've claimed that identity because you've accepted that that's your next right step. That's where you're going. It is set in stone. And you don't spend that summer going, what if I actually don't make it into school? I already accepted the everything. I already got my information. I already got my FAFSA. I already got my loans. I already got my whatever. I've already got my ticket booked for when I'm going to go out in the beginning of that fall semester. I'm sorry if you heard me just tap the microphone with my finger like 2 fucking times. You have everything that you need in order to start school in the fall. You get your pencils, your backpack, all of the tools and supplies that you need because you are preparing for that next grade. You are preparing for that next level. You know that that's where you're going. When it comes to your personal goals, when it comes to your financial goals, when it comes to your professional goals, when it comes to your romantic goals, it is the same exact process, no difference. It is the same exact process. Because think about it. It would not make any sense for you if you had graduated from the 8th grade. You're preparing to go to high school in the next year. Does it make sense for you to spend those 3 months going, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go into high school? I don't know if I'm going to be able to go into high school. I don't know. I might get to high school. I might try my best. And then they send me back to the 8th grade because I am not as good as I think that I am. Well, that's a ridiculous and silly thought, isn't it? Because you graduated 8th grade and you're going into high school. That's your next right step. That's your logical step. That's locked in. That's decided. But when you have your goals that you've set in your life, and you're not looking at them as your next right step, you're not claiming that identity before it's manifested in the physical reality, what happens? You spend your time walking around, questioning it, doubting it. Is it happening? Is it failing? Nothing is going on. I don't see any movement. Could you imagine if you were going from middle school to high school and you were waking up every single day going, I don't know. I didn't wake up with my class schedule yet. I don't have my class schedule yet. I don't know what classes I'm going to be in. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. Maybe I won't be going to high school after all. I'm not seeing enough hardcore evidence and proof. Maybe it's not happening. No, you don't do that. You would think that that's kind of a little bit ridiculous. Because you know the high school that you're going to, you're registered at the high school that you're going to, and as it gets closer and closer, and on that first day of high school, you will have your schedule, or maybe there's an orientation where you'll go and you'll get your schedule and everything that you need in order to show up at that first day of high school. It will be given to you. You know that it's going to be given to you. You know that you're going to receive it, so you're not worried about it. You're not stressed about it. It's that same exact experience when it comes to your goals. Who gives a fuck about what it looks like? You don't have to walk up to the most random person in the world and tell them, hey, yeah, there's no wedding ring on my finger, but I consider myself to be a married woman. You could do it. You could. I don't give a fuck. You come up to me, you tell me something like that, I'm like, right on, girl. Yeah, period. And I understand that completely. I'm doing the same fucking thing. You know, if you're talking to somebody who's cool, then they'll get it. But you don't have to do that. You could be having a conversation with someone that you've just met. Let's say that you're at an event for your job, for your work. They come up to you and they ask you about what your job title is, what you're doing at the company. And you can out loud say, oh, I'm working in this and this and this. And in your mind, you can correct yourself. In your fucking mind, there's nobody controlling you there. There's nobody who's listening to your thoughts there. And if there is somebody who's listening to your thoughts there, then they're not going to judge you for if there is a mind reader in the vicinity. I don't think that they're going to judge you for assuming the identity of something that has yet to manifest. So you're good. You're safe. You tell somebody, oh, This is my current title. And in your mind, you say, oops, actually, that was my title 3 months ago. I am the CEO of the company and I love the work that I do here. You don't even have to do a whole sentence. Oops, that was a mistake. I'm the CEO of the company. So wonderful to meet you. In your fucking mind. You don't have to say that out loud. You don't have to say that out loud. There's no rule that says you have to include the general public in your fucking manifestations. The point is for you to build out that perception, for you to build out that identity, for you to see yourself. And the next thing that you want to do, or an extension of this that you want to do, is you want to perceive your goal as your next right step. Your logical next right step. The episode is only going to be like 15, 16, 17, 18 minutes. I don't know how much longer I'm going to talk for, but the episode's going to be short. Listen to this more than one time. If you're smart, you'll listen to it more than one time and you'll take notes. I'm being so serious. Because it's simple, but it's foundational. It's something that deserves your attention. You want to perceive your goal as your next right step. Becoming the CEO is who you are, it's what you were always meant to be, and it's your next right step. How you perceive your goals, how you perceive yourself, it matters, and it's impacting your belief in it all. So let's use another example. Let's say that you are ready to manifest your first home. You're ready to manifest your next home. And you're thinking to yourself, the homes that I want cost so much money. It's so expensive. I've never had a home in that nice of a neighborhood. I've never been able to, afford to, what are the issues that could come up in your mind? I've never had more than 6 months rent, and before I buy this home, outside of my other, financial things that I have going on, I want to always have at least 12 months of my mortgage out beforehand. So you're creating these financial goals for yourself, these things that you want, need, and desire that are going to support you in feeling safe, secure, and confident when you go into that leasing office, or when you go to meet with that, what would it be, broker, real estate agent. I really don't give a shit. The point is, you have these goals that you have set so that you feel safe, comfortable, confident, and ready to receive your next home. If you are perceiving yourself as somebody who has never made that much money before, it's so hard and it's so difficult. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. I don't think that I can do it because look at everything that's going on in the housing market. I don't think that this might maybe not be a good idea because of blah, 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 right? Your perception of self, your perception of the world, your identity is going to impact the way that you show up. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to question yourself. You're going to go back and forth. You're going to manifest an experience with the house where it's, up in the air. Oh, I thought we were moving into escrow. Now we're not. Maybe the buyer's backing out. Maybe I go to have the home inspected, and every single time I get a new home that I'm going to buy inspected, it's all fucked up. It doesn't pass the, private inspection that I ordered, hired, whatever. It's like, you're going to create problems for yourself because you don't see yourself as somebody who is a homeowner of this beautiful home. You don't see that home as your natural next step. You see that as a huge leap. You see that as a huge reach. And when you see your goal, whether it's a home, whether it's a husband, whether it's your next job, whether it's your next $20,000 month, when you see that goal as something that is so far off, as something that is so hard, as something that is so unlikely, as something that is so absolutely positively unreachable, you create struggle, you create conflict, you create difficulty where there doesn't have to be any. And I know this for a fact because I did it for 5 years in my business. I know this for a fact because I did it for 5 years in my business. I ran this business as the woman who was unsure of herself. I don't know if I'll be successful. I don't know if it's going to work. I spent my time, for years, I spent my time focusing on, can people afford this? Can people afford that? When I didn't even need to be focusing on, can people afford it? I needed to be working on my relationship with humanity. I needed to be working on my attachment issues. I needed to be working on my beliefs about my ability to create consistency, financial safety, and security for myself. There's so much other shit that I needed to be working on, but I wasn't even able to see that. I wasn't even able to perceive that because my perspective was so limited by my identity. I was the girl who might not make it as a business owner, the girl who is in way over her head, the girl that nobody believes in, right? That was my identity. Am I failing? It looks like I'm failing because I have that identity that I might fail. I have that identity that I basically probably will fail. I have that identity that the success I want is so far off from anything I've ever created, anything I've ever achieved. It's going to be so hard for me to get that. I'm not going to be able to keep that, whatever. I created an experience in my life where when I'm posting videos online, if it gets less than 1,000 views, this is a couple years ago, if it gets less than 1,000 views, I feel like a failure. I feel like a failure. I post a video, it gets 1,000 views, but it doesn't get 10,000. I feel like a failure. I post a video, it gets 10,000 views, but it doesn't get 44,000 views. I feel like a failure. No matter what, I feel like a failure because my identity is the identity of a woman who might fail. My identity, my self-perception is the self-concept of a woman who probably isn't going to make it, of a woman who's struggling, of a woman who's just trying to get it together, of a woman who's just trying to get by, compared to being the woman who is the CEO of her business, being the woman who is a boss, being the woman who trusts herself to make good choices and decisions. My success is my next right step. My next level of income is my next right step. My next level of course sales is my next right step. Financial safety, security, and stability, growing and expanding, getting deeper, getting more firmer, like roots that are growing further and further into the ground. That stability is my next right step. It's not something that is so far off and so unlikely. It's my next right step. My financial goals, doesn't matter if my financial goals are for 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million. It is my next right step. It is time for me to reach this goal. It is time for me to have this experience in my finances. It is time for me to have this experience in my business. It is time for me to have this experience in my living situation. This is who I am. This is what I've come here for. And this is my next right step. And if you decide to implement who I am, what I was made for, and the fact that reaching this goal is my next right step, if you decide to implement those three things into the foundation of every single goal that you have, you will get there much more quickly. You will have much more enjoyment as you move through the process, and it will be much easier for you to manifest. Because when you see yourself as the CEO, when you see yourself as the successful woman, when you see yourself as the woman who has already got it, it's your normal, natural next right step. This is the progression of your life. This is the progression of your soul. This is the progression of your life's mission. This is the progression of your purpose. This is your normal next right step. This is just the logical next step. This is like going from middle school to high school. This is just the logical next step. This is just the obvious thing to do. Does not matter how big the numbers look. Your job is to communicate it to yourself that it's not that big of a deal. This is your normal next step. This is my normal next step. When I am looking at that success as my normal next step, I have a better feeling experience in my manifestations. I'm not looking at my business, my numbers, my income going, oh my God, does this mean I'm going to fail? Oh my God, my sales have dipped. Does this mean I'm going to fail? Oh my God, things are not working the way that I thought they would. Does this mean I'm going to fail? That thought doesn't come across my mind. I just took a month off of work. I didn't do it on purpose. I manifested a European vacation in one way. In one particular way. I just needed a fucking break. I needed a break. I was having an experience where I couldn't bring myself to do my work. I just fucking couldn't. I didn't want to record. I didn't want to upload. I didn't want to launch anything. I didn't want to. No, I just couldn't fucking do it. So I didn't. I needed a break. And that break ended up being a month long. And I could have moved through that break going, oh my God, I'm going to fail. I'm not uploading. My people need consistency from me. Otherwise they won't buy. And if I don't do this and I don't meet this mark and I don't then, it's not going to, my business isn't going to succeed and my income is going to continue to plummet and I won't be able to pay my bills. And no, I didn't have that experience. I needed a break, so I took a break. You ever have that experience where you get burnout, or you just get exhausted, or you just, for whatever reason, need a fucking break, you need some rest, but you actually are not resting at all during your resting moment because while you're resting, you're worried about all of the things that could possibly be going fucking wrong? It's like, that's not rejuvenating for anyone. That's not healing for anyone. But because this is my identity, success is my identity, it's who I am, it's what I've come here for. Creating success in my business is who I am. It's what I've come here for. It's at this point where it's like 5 years in, all of the things that I've learned, all of the skills that I've developed, all of the beliefs that I have developed and expanded into, all of the identities that I have adapted for myself, it's illogical for my business to fail at this point. It's just fucking illogical. And a year ago, that was not my reality. I thought my failure was imminent. And I was having such a worse time mentally and emotionally because of it. Focusing on your identity is foundational. How you perceive yourself, how you see yourself, who you believe that you are, what you believe that you've come here for, and what you believe about your goal, whether it gets to be hard for you, whether it gets to be easy for you. All of that is going to come together to impact how quickly you're able to manifest, how easily it comes in for you, and the time that you have during that journey. Enjoying the journey is the most important part. You're going to get there regardless. It's like taking a train ride or taking a plane ride. You're going to get to your destination regardless. You're going to touch down and you're going to be safe no matter what. You have 5 hours up in the sky. You're either going to spend it freaking the fuck out every single time there's a little bit of turbulence, or you're going to put on your headphones and you're going to go to fucking sleep. You're going to touch down regardless. If you're a woman who cares about her quality of life, which every single one of you listening is, then you're a woman who needs to understand and utilize these principles. You don't just want the end goal. You want to have an enjoyable life as you move through that journey, as you move through that process. Obviously, you're going to get the end goal. Obviously, you're going to achieve what you want and desire in this lifetime. That's just obvious to anyone with a working fucking brain. Everybody knows that. But what kind of time do you want to have on the journey to your desire? You want to create an experience where no matter what is going on in your physical reality, you're able to ignore it. You're able to say, nope, this isn't true for me. You're able to continue repeating and telling the new story. Then you focus on your identity. Because as long as you have the identity of the woman who fails, the woman who's not good enough, the woman who might not make it, every single mistake, every single, misunderstanding, every single mess up, everything that's a part of the process, everything that's a part of things unfolding and coming together, it's going to freak you the fuck out. You're going to make it into something that's larger than life, and you are going to suffer your way to your goal. I don't want that for you, and you don't want that for yourself either. If you want my way, my easy, simple way for shifting your identity, then I highly suggest checking out and enrolling in the I Can and I Should course. Okay, the self-concept swap is the newest bonus inside of that course. It is not something that I would suggest you miss, especially because right now the course is $300. There is a payment plan. So check that out. And I love you, and we will talk in the next one.